got it. It's like, oh man, during that before the snap, I know I just like it's like the universe just give you a hint. It's like it's time right now. It's time right now. It's your time. You have to get it.
Join me, Jeremy Swick, on Into the Unknown, a podcast that delves into the personal journeys, stories, and experiences of individuals across diverse professions. As a historian by trade, I firmly believe that our personal histories shape our present and offer valuable insights into our paths ahead. With that being said, let's get into it. On this episode, Into the Unknown, I'm joined with a very special guest, Jackson He. How are you doing today, Jackson?
Man, amazing. I had an amazing day. And right now it's 12 a.m. in China, but I'm still energetic because I'm talking to that guy.
Man, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate talking. I know we're literally on opposite sides of the world right now, but it's so cool that we can make it happen.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I love that. Ever since I started playing football, I actually see myself as a culture bridge. So and then having this opportunity to talk with you, and then especially you, it's like so much knowledge about football, so much knowledge about history. I just love to have this opportunity to talk with you.
I appreciate you, man. It's so funny because I always like to talk about the importance of networking. And the way we connected is pretty crazy. It's through social media. It was through
Yeah.
my time at the College Football Hall of Fame where I was a historian and curator.
Hmm.
One of the things I kept running into is a player would do something really interesting, a team would go on a run, and I was always trying to email. Unfortunately, sometimes it was the coach or the equipment manager,
Yeah.
and a lot of times
Uh-huh.
they don't get back to you. They're busy. I understand. And I realized, it's like,
Yep.
what if I just reach out to the players? And so it
Yeah.
was funny, man, when you joined Arizona State. I reached out, and
Hmm.
shortly after we had your jersey in the Hall of Fame.
Man. I mean, who would turn down that opportunity? It was like your jersey is in the Hall of Fame. It was like, what? That who would turn down that opportunity? I mean, yeah, I'm glad that you DM me, and then I guess that's how social media work.
It really is cool, man. And so, can you tell me a little bit about your jersey and what made it so special when we reached out for it?
Man, so my jersey, phew, I think that jersey or that interview on ESPN just started popping back up on Instagram now. It was like got so many likes and everything. But yeah, the jersey is one of a kind, I gotta say. I mean, it's the first one to have a Chinese letter on the back. I remember when I was playing University of Arizona, and then I was on the field, and then I got tackled. I remember some defender was there saying that, "What the hell is that? Like, is there Chinese letter on the back?" I was like, "Hell yeah, yeah!" But thanks to all the equipment guys in Arizona State, though, like, because when I first get into Arizona State, the equipment guy was asking me what do you want on your jersey? I was like, whoa, it will be cool to have Chinese name on the back. But I just say that, right? Just because I who would have thought like there's Chinese letter on the back? Like that never happened. Even like when Yao Ming was playing the NBA, they didn't do that for them, right? It's like so I was just thinking like I'm nobody, I just want to play. But then it was like after I get some recognition at the team, and one day the equipment manager called me up. It was like, "Hey, I want to see you." I was like, "Oh, damn! Did I steal something?" And then they noticed. It was like, "Why they say with that face?" It was like, "Oh my!" So I go up there, and then they show me the jersey, and then I was like, "Oh, I finally got a game jersey." I'm super excited. They didn't turn it back yet, and then after that, flip it back to let me see the back. I was like, "Wow!" It was crazy to see it's Chinese, and it's even crazier to see it's actually spelled right. It's like because it's like there's so many different Chinese letter and it sounds the same, but it's actually that three words actually it is right. They googled it right, and then oh man, I remember I was running with that jersey. There's fourth floor fourth floor on the facility. So I run it now, first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor to show everybody that jersey. I was like, whoa, 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 look at this jersey. I got my name on the back. And then everybody's so happy. It was just a great memory. But I think we get to do that just because our equipment managers, they're amazing guys. And ASU, they are number one in innovation. So I guess we did a little innovation right there.
I love that, man, and it's such a shout out to the equipment guys and guys and gals. I say
Mhm.
that, but it's so amazing what they do because I don't think people really realize what goes into that. It's not just getting the jersey ready; it's getting everything set perfectly. And you have to imagine it's not just
Yeah.
football; it's every sport that's out there. And I mean, they're working kind of around the
Yep.
clock, and they're not always getting the thank yous that, for example, players and coaches get.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. They're the heroes. Behind the scene heroes.
So, Jackson, I want to know a little bit more about you, that origin story. Who are you?
Mhm. Well, I'm in Jackson He, but I actually made up this name, Jackson. Because when I was in China, I don't have English name, right? But then it was like I get into international school, and then the teacher was like, "You have to have an English name, or how else people gonna call you?" I was like, at that time, I think Michael Jackson just passed away. And then all the news and everything, and I was like, oh, who is this Michael Jackson? So I started listening to Michael Jackson, and then I fell in love with it. So I was like, I'm gonna be Jackson. Jackson, he, you know. And then when I was in high school, it was a coincidence. One of the teacher was like, Jackson, did you make your name up because it's just Michael Jackson? And then I was like, how do you know that? And then he said, because your name's Jackson, hee hee. Yeah, so it's like, okay, wow, that's funny. But yeah, so yeah, I'm Jackson he, and then I'm Chinese, made in China, got to America when I was like 17 years old, and then start playing football. And man, my story of playing football is actually pretty crazy. Wow, it's a movie actually. It's a lot of ups and downs. So yeah, you like to listen to more of that?
I would love to hear that, man. I think it's so interesting how someone from China ended up playing such a American sport, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, so at first I really just wanted to get involved in the American culture, American. I was a funny guy, right? I was a funny guy in Chinese. I was talking all the jokes in Chinese. I thought I was the funny guy, funny kid. But when it came to America, I can write a little bit. I can do tests and everything. My TOEFL school score is good. But then it was like I couldn't speak. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't tell the jokes that I was telling in China. So I was like, oh, how did I do that? But at the same time I wanted to play sports. But I was playing basketball in China for a little bit, right? I didn't play too much sports, but I started playing basketball and fell in love with it. I was like, I came into America. I want to be the next Jeremy Lin, the next Yao Ming, or whatever, right? But then I came here in high school, Chula Vista. Those kids are dunking, flying. I was like, there's no way I can play over there. And then, I was just upset. And then during that time, I think football season just about to start. And then there was a teammate's parent. They came up to me on campus. I was walking on campus. He came up to me. He was like, "Yo, Jackson, you big as hell. You should play football." And I was like, "What? What is football?" And he's like, "Google it." And then he's like, "Google the left tackle or left guard or something." So I went back home. I googled it, and then found out it's football. You can hit people. Okay, okay, fun. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try it. So the next day I joined the team, and then I start falling in love with it because I can hit people. And then, but it's also a weird feeling because in China, the traditional like the education of us, the culture of China is you're not supposed to be the aggressor, right? You're supposed to be humble. You're supposed to be the mediocre guy. You don't want to be exaggerated. You don't be on top on everything because they're just the way we teach, right? You got to stay humble. But then it was like, and then in football, it's like the coaches ask you, you gotta hit this guy. You gotta hit him. you gotta yell, you gotta beat that guy, you gotta be exaggerate. It's like it's just so much. I guess that would be like culture shock to me. So yeah, so that's how I actually get into play football.
So it's one thing to play football. You know, you mentioned in high school, kind of learning the game. How did that take you to the
Yeah.
next level?
Man, so in high school, uh, actually, really. So when I look back on my journey, I think I am a really, 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 really. I have to say so many really, really because just I'm just really lucky. I'm a blessed guy, and then I'm gonna tell you the story, and then you're gonna think, wow, it's like crazy. So so I first came to America, and then I think I was classified as senior, so I played my senior season in Chula Vista. That school is called Lutheran High School. So I played over there 10 game as a lineman, as an O lineman and D lineman. But the second year, I stayed another year, reclassified as a senior again, just to play football because I told my coach was telling me, oh, you got a potential or whatever, and then at this big you can run, you can jump, and they really have faith in me. So I convince my parents, persuades my parents to let me stay one more year. And then I told them I can get a scholarship to go to D1 school at that time. And then, it was crazy. The reason I can play so many snap in my high school is just because we don't have that many people. We're playing 11-man football, but we only have 14 people on the team. That's just how crazy it is. And then so when we played to the seventh game on my second season, we were down like 10 people in the game. And then we were playing the game, the second half of that game with 10 people. So after that game, our season got canceled because we don't have anybody. And then I just remember, I remember all those talk with my parents. I was like, oh, I will make sure I'll get a scholarship or whatever. But then it was like 7 game done, and then the season's over. That means, man, there's no chance for me to improve. But I was improving every day, right? It's like the second season I start playing running back, and then I got lucky because my high school head coach, he's actually Jerry Allen's dad. Jerry Allen, Hall
Yep.
of Famer. Yeah. Wait, is it Hall of Fame? Is it he's Hall of Famer,
Yep.
right? He just got
Yep.
selected. Okay, yeah. So he's Jerry Allen's dad, and then he got some connection at the University of Jamestown. And then actually got some scholarship to go over there to play. And yeah, they're just lucky guy. Like who would have thought a kid from China that play only 17 games in high school would get a scholarship to play? I mean, to college football, right? Is even though it's like an NAIA school, but still like you use your ability to earn a scholarship to play at next level. So yeah, but it was a great challenge when I get into Jamestown because because there's not many people in my high school to play, and so our playbook is really really easy. It's for us the running back, you just go left and right and then go C gap, A gap, B gap, that's it. There's no like specific like shift motion and all that. So when I get into Jamestown, they were using pro style offense, right? They were doing all the playbook from North Dakota State, and at that time it was, I think, Carson
Yep.
Wentz was yeah was the quarterback, and then they were doing the all pro style offense. They got a fullback, 21 personnel, 12 personnel, and all that. So when I got there, start playing, learn the playbook, I was like, what is personnel? Like, what does that mean? Like, because at that time my English wasn't that good, and then especially just those are football terminology, right? You can't even look it up on dictionary. It's like what motion? What is motion? Like what is shift? Like it's totally different meaning in in the dictionary. So it's so hard for me to learn all that. And yeah, so the first year I was redshirted, and then yeah, it was just miserable time because I missed my parents, I missed my friend. There was nobody, and it was cold in Jamestown, and then I couldn't play. In football, it was like really, it's like they're if you're not that guy to play, you're not good enough. You kind of on the edge of the team, right? Nobody really like look at you like a, how they feel, right? Sports team, they be like that, right? And then so I really just feel like, I'm an outsider. I can't even learn this. So it was really miserable the first year. But then it was crazy. I got lucky again. So I went to a spring, like a winter break, to travel with my friends in high school, and then I found out one of my friend, he has a good grade. He doesn't have a good grade before, but now he has a good grade. So something just clicked in my head. It was like crazy, just like, whoa! If he can do that, I can do it too. So when I come back, my grades getting better, and then I suddenly just understand everything, all the playbook. It's like I suddenly became the player that knows the playbook the most. It was just it was just crazy. It's like something just clicked. So after that, I start, getting raps and then getting the recognition and all that. It was just, man, it was crazy. I couldn't even explain what happened, but it's just like something just clicked. So I had to say, it's a really lucky journey. And after that, it was like, man, I start playing a little bit, and then getting some touches, getting the touchdown, getting some touchdown, and then yeah. But then I got some injury on my back, so I went back to China. But then I still want to come back to the team to practice, and then but I just found out maybe it's time for me to go to challenge myself a little bit more, and then I just wanted to it just doesn't feel right at there, right? So I get out of that school, come back to China for a little bit, because it was just like a it was a decision that made up so fast, because I went back to train, right, the summer training, and then it was close to August, I think, right, and then I just doesn't feel right, and then I just quit school. It was just like that. But it was hard for me to find another school to transfer that quick. So I have to take a gap year in China. So I went back to China, stopped playing football again in China. And then that's how I know, it's like, wow, that's actually football in China. And even though at that time, China football is basically like a lower level high school team. But there's football, right? I can work out with them, and there's actually turf field right there. So I was like, okay, fun. And yeah, so during my time in China, I still apply to all the different schools, and yeah, and then got some academic scholarship to Arizona State. So I was like, okay. My friend told me it was a really sunny state. It was a really hot state, and then they got Hearn Edward over there. I was like, well, who's that? Like he was telling me all the story of Hearn, and then so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. So I chose Arizona State to go, but then like when I go to Arizona State, before I go, I emailed them a lot. I was like, okay, coach, this is my tape from Jamestown. I play, and then I'm a Chinese. I just want to play and all that. I sent a lot of emails to them, but I never heard of them. I never heard from them. So yeah, I was like, oh man, am I just going to be a normal kid? Not like a normal kid. Normal kid is good. Like just a student, right? Like because I have been a student athlete, I guess, from high school. Since then, I was just like, I get used to it, right? It's like so I was like, okay, I don't just want to be a student here, right? So one day I got up, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna Google where Arizona State facility is, and I found it. I Uber over there. Man, it was so hot. I remember it was like 100-degree. I walk outside. I was like, I try to find that place, and then I found it. It was a big, huge black building. It was like, it's tall, and it's really scary, to be honest with you. But I was like, man, you know what? I just want to try it. I just want to go in there to talk to the coach just to see if I can get in. So I actually did. That's another lucky thing that happened to me, right? Because I went in there. with nobody asking me, wait, what are you doing here? Who are you? And all that. I went up straight to the office, talked to the front desk lady, and then they were actually got a recruiting coach come up to me, and then but then he was telling me that, oh, we're, at that time I think it was August again, August 19 or whatever. It was the first game is about to start, right? And then it was just, and then the coach told me that, oh, the season is about to start. We don't have any opening. And then I was like, oh man, I got that answer. I was like, oh man, I will never get it to play again. And then, but he still said that, like, send me your highlight tape. We can talk about it. We gonna see what happens. So I just sent it to him anyway. The crazy thing is, the second day I got the message from him, and then he said he watched the tape with Coach Iguano, and then he liked the way I run, and then I'm in. It was just crazy story. I'm a lucky guy. Like, when you think about it, like, wow, there's so many lucky coincidences happen, and just, man, I'm just super grateful for those people that helped me. Yeah,
Abs-
crazy story.
Absolutely, man. It's one of those things, as you mentioned, you just kind of kept doing what you thought was best, or what kind of your next move, not really knowing your move, but the fact that he turned in your tape, or you turned in your tape. And I'm sure a lot of times they get that all the time, where people kind of reach out, hey, I'd love to play. It's like, all right, well, send your tape. Maybe they look at it, maybe they throw it in the pile of the tapes
Yep, yep, yep.
at. But for you, it's fortunate that they ended up taking a look and, join
Yeah.
the team.
Yes, man, super blast.
So take me through, once you get on the team, how does that experience unfold?
Like, get in or get out.
To get on the team, like, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to join the team, like, kind of almost beginning of the season. How was that?
Mhm. Well, it was like, I got in there. I was like, man, I remember it was funny story. So when I went in there to went into the training room, and then I'm about to do a physical with the trainers, and I saw Benjamin was there, taking care of his body, and then, I've been creeping a lot of Arizona State football Instagram, right? And Eno is the guy. Eno is the guy, man. He got 1,800 yards and everything in the season. He was the guy, and then I was like, oh man, is that Eno Benjamin? Oh man! And then I would start being a fanboy and everything. And then I remember one trainer was telling me, like, you are, don't be a fanboy. You're one of them. You one of them now. I was like, I heard it. I was like, wow, really? Yeah. It's like, even though I am not his level and everything, but it's like I'm on a team too. It's like, it was just crazy realization. It's like, wow, I really own a team now. It's crazy. But then it's like, oh man, I remember I was, I had to say, it was like, it was really a time. It's like you actually put down your head and grind. I think 2019 to 2020, that's the years like you really put down your head and grind. Because as a walk on, and then especially somebody that joined the team this late in the season, it's like not in this late, right? But right, I think I joined the team after the third game or the second game. I don't remember, but I was just on scouting, on every scouting. I was just trying to improve myself and try to show every coaches I can do this too. And then I had some great practice, and then after practice, I went up to Coach Hearn. I was like, Coach, can I play now? And then he was like, I remember he told me that. I was like, he got this like, whoa, 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 young man, you still got a long way to go. I was like, oh shit. Okay, okay, all right, coach. Okay. And then just, I really love Coach Hearn because he's so he's straight up with you, right? It's like, if you can play, you can play. If you're not, you're not, right? And then he would tell you. And then he's a really good motivator. And then he also motivate me a lot. Talk, you know, all those talk that actually fire me up to actually, think about, like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing, I'm keep going. I'll just keep showing you. You know, if you say there's a long way to go, okay, I'm a still work hard and then try to try to be able to get on the team, get on the field. And then because Coach Hearn always said, right, if you're not on the field playing, you're not a football player. I guess this like the old school like hardcore type coach vibe, but I really agree with that, right? And then so before I actually step on the field on the game day, I actually didn't post nothing about it because, you know, I don't really see it as a football player, right? I really do think if you're a football player, you got to be on the field, play it, right? And then so yeah, there's just a lot of fun story in the team, and I made a lot of good friends over there. Man, it was just a great time. It's like playing sports. uh, After you get out of team, it's like when you're done playing, you just miss those times, right? Just like you got your brother got your back. It's like a whole family. It's like man, it's like an army too. It's like whoever want to mess with your family, mess up with your brother, you wanna go out there, and it's a group of people that has your back. So yeah, I miss those feelings.
Yeah, man. So what made you not quit? What made you keep going?
That's a great question, actually. I actually wanted to quit. It was crazy because I was as a walk on, you really are have to grind a lot. You have to do a lot, and then I don't know if I didn't play the college football that game, but I remember I heard somebody said there's a walk on mode, and then you have to build up the trust and everything, and then that's exactly the real reality, right? It's like you have to do a lot to build up a little trust from the coaches, but if you messed up, that trust would go down fast, right? So you got to really be careful with what you're doing. You had to really grab onto every opportunity to throw on your way, and then there's not too many opportunity. So and then yeah, so during the springtime 2020, the spring ball, I was really working hard and everything, and then I think I just think I can play. And then, but after practice, I go back to the locker room. There's a sheet of paper and set the roster, right? And then it update every day. And then so after practice, I went back there to check on the roster, but I never see me on there, right? And just it's just like you get up every day at 5:30 a.m. working hard, getting beat up every day to like and you get out of the facilities on 1 p.m. and then start doing homework and everything, and then the next day you doing it again, and then it make you wonder like what am I doing? Like I woke up every day getting beat up and then getting so busy every day just to not getting recognized, not being able to play. Like, what am I doing? Like, I tell my friends, they won't even believe me. I play on the team because they couldn't even see me on roster. And then I was like, man, it was just the moment just to feel like you were running in the tunnel that has no light. You thought there's a light in the front, right? You want to chase them. But even after you running out of your breath, you couldn't see any hope. It just feels like in the dark tunnel. But then it's like, so I walked to the strength and conditioning coach, Coach Joe. I went into his office, and then because I was a developmental guy, right? So that's what they call the scout guy. And then we have to work out a lot, especially in the morning. So I actually getting pretty close with Coach Joe. So I went in there. I sat down. I was like, Coach, I want to tell you something, and then I'll start crying, and then just because, I was thinking about like, my parents they sent me out here, and then I can choose some better like Ivy school and whatever, but I just choose the Arizona State because I want to play football still, right? And then it's a great academic tool, and then but it's a good mix. But then I came here because I wanted to be able to play football, and then I remember all the promises I made to them before, and just like I feel like I failed them, right? I felt like I couldn't. get any further anyway, right? I was like, oh man, I think I failed my parents. And then I was just like, I just feel like there's no hope, right? So I just feel like I don't want to play anymore because it take up so much time, take up so much beating on your body. And I just told him straight up, I was like, maybe I want to quit. And then he told me that, he told me that other coaches there watching you all the time. They would talk about you in the meeting in the morning, and then he was saying that everybody recognize you, everybody know your hard work, everybody know your work ethic. They put respect on your name too. And then at that time I really just feel like, man, maybe the people are still watching. And then I'm gonna keep going. I just want to see like how far I can go. I mean, I'm here already. So yeah, so after that I was like, you know what, man, I'm just keep going. And then so yeah, it would just turn out that year is the year that got that touchdown. It was just, man, it was a crazy story.
It really is. You put all that hard work and dedication, not just in high school, not just at
Mhm.
Jamestown, not just back when you went to China, but what at Arizona State as well. To see that kind of moment all come to fruition is pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, thank you. It was just, man, it was a lucky too. It was a lucky story too. Man, during the game, man, it was crazy because so we beat up Arizona really bad during that game, right? Now we talk about that game. When we score, it was just crazy. It's like a miracle actually. We beat up them so bad, and then I think during the second no, I think during the third quarter. And then my teammate, my running back teammates, they were start talking to the coaches like, oh yeah, maybe we can put Jackson in now. Like the score we have is like it's trash time already. Like, come on, let's put Jackson in. And then the coach was thinking about it. It was like, and then coach Aguano was like, okay, if we put the ball at 1 yard line, we're gonna put Jackson in. Rashad White, he played I think, wait, where did he play? Commanders, right? Now he playing Commanders. He just got traded. And then no, at that time he's my teammate, and then we were good friends. And then he heard it. And then so when he played, he almost get the touchdown. He break out the tackle and everything, but he get out the field at 1 yard line. I remember I saw that. I was like, "Oh my god, he really did that." Like I remember, like, wow. But nobody knows, right? Like nobody knows, like he about to do that because he told me that, like, bro, I'm gonna get out 1 yard line just for you to get in. And then, but nobody's know. Like the coaches are wondering, like, what is going on? Like, is he hurt? And it's like, what happened? Why did he get out of 1 yard line? And then he came back, and then coach was asking him, was like, why did he get out at 1 yard line? He was like, you said if we at 1 yard line, you can put Jackson in. But then I didn't get in, and then he finished with the touchdown. At that time I was like, oh man, maybe I don't have any opportunity to play. But then during fourth quarter, and that's really when the coaches was asking me, Coach Guano looked back at me, and he was like, Jackson, are you ready? I was like, man, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm super ready. Man, I'm so ready. So yeah, he called my number. I go up there. I remember, man, because it was a COVID time, there was no audience. There was nobody on the stadium, but then I can hear loud and clearly from my teammates. I was walking into the field, everybody on my back, they were chanting my name. They was like, Jackson He, Jackson He. Man, you know how that feels like? It was like a movie, really, like a movie. So I went in there. Man, I did 3 carry, and then it was not good. And then I think we were in fourth and 1 or fourth and 2. And then during that time was laying the game. Usually we just punted, but then it's like coach called a pass play. They passed to the fullback, I think Case Hatch. And then he started running crazy. He was going crazy. He caught the ball and started running. I was like, yo, what if he score right now? If he score right now, I couldn't play anymore. That's it. My story ends right here. But like he got stopped at 1 yard line. you know, it was crazy. It was like he got stopped at 1 yard line. Wow. So at that moment, we go up, we huddle up. After we get out of huddle, we went up to the 1 yard line. I was thinking, I just feel like that's the time. That's the time right there. I am the guy that knows the playbook the most, I think, on the team, other than quarterback, of course, right? But then I was looking on the sideline to see the coach to get the signal, get the play, and then I couldn't even remember what that play was. It was like I didn't know what that play is. I have to ask my quarterback Trent Baguette. I had to ask him. I was like, hey, wait, yo, what play is this? Just like you blanked out because you was like, this is the moment right there. And it's like I blanked out. He told me to play. Okay, run left or there. It's like a gap play. And I was oh yeah, okay, I got it. I got it. It's like oh man, during that before the snap, I know I just like it's like the universe just give you a hint. It's like it's time right now. It's time right now. It's your time. You have to get it. So just get the ball. I see how it turned out, and then go to the left a little bit, and then saw one guy right there hit him and then got stopped a little bit, but I still feel like, man, you got to drive your leg. Like, man, just right there. You can be stopped right there. I just feel like if I got stopped, I will have no opportunity to play it again. So yeah, so man, all the hard works, just getting to that leg drive right there. So touchdown. And then actually I didn't know I got a touchdown. I thought I got stopped short. I went up. I was like looking at trying to get to see the ref, but I didn't see them. But I just feel so many slap on my helmet. I was like, oh, okay, so I get a touchdown, I guess. Let me think about what a celebration I'm gonna do. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy sequence.
Well, that's really awesome, man. So you finish up at Arizona State. What happens next for you?
So I finished at Arizona State. I actually went into University of Southern California for my grad school because I was really thinking about what I'm gonna do in the future because I think football is definitely some great experience, and then but then it was like I had to really get out of it just because something happened, right? And then just because after that touchdown, that 2021 season, and then I still get some recognition, right? And it's like all the coaches start to, trust me a little more. They put me on roster, they put me on second team on the special team and everything, right? But then it just that year, it is not right. And right at the beginning of the year, my I have to do like a root canals like on my teeth, like something crazy happened with my teeth. And then on the spring ball, I hurt my hamstring. And then during summer workout, I dropped like a 315, like a hand clean, power clean on my thigh. It's like so bruised up. And then during fall camp, fall camp is the time that you really compete for spot. And then I dislocated my elbow. you know it was just it was just bad year. It was like you really start thinking like, whoa, why is God doing this to me, right? Why this, like, I just got a little bit of achievement, right? I wanted to get more of it. It's time for me to show myself, actually. But then I'm getting so much injury. And then at the end of the season, right, when we about to play Las Vegas, playing the bowl game against Wisconsin, I think. And then because it's a bowl game, and then Rashad is getting to NFL already, and then there's a bunch of people trying to transfer already. I was like, oh man, I might actually get some time to play again. And then so at the right before leaving to Vegas, the last practice and the last play, I got a run play, and then I hit somebody. I think I hit the safety coming towards me, and I just feel like my leg got stuck up in the grass, and I just heard something pop, and then I couldn't get up on the ground. I just like stay on the ground, and then it turns out it was a spiral fracture on my fibula and also high ankle sprain. So it was, yeah, I was like, oh man. During that time, I really start thinking, wow, it's like the football god doesn't want me to play anymore, right? It's like, especially me as a Chinese, as an international student, I actually got a call from the international pathway from NFL, right? They have this international player pathway for you, right? They invite you to Exos to work out and everything to train, and then it was just like they contact me about it, and then I was like, yeah, after the final game, I'm gonna go. But then everything happened, and it's like maybe just not for me anymore, right? And then football gave me a great experience, gave me a lot of amazing stuff, but I just feel like, man, maybe it's time for something else, right? And then so after graduated, I start thinking like, what do I really want to do in the future? I really wanted to help more people, and I think I don't like to like do things that with this, when you do something, I trying to start with something I want to help them first, not because I want to make a lot of money, right? Because I feel like if you are helping people, you're gonna get your money anyway, right? So I think I want to help a lot of people, but who am I going to help? And that's when I start figuring out like there's a huge problem that needs to be solved in the society, not just in America, not just in China, but the whole world. Is aging problem, right? It's a People are aging. There's so many older people, people are getting older, not much younger people they're getting born, right? So there's a lot of older people needs to be taken care of. They need entertainment as well. They need taken care. They need care as well, right? So I just feel like that might be something I want to do in the future. So yeah, I go to school. I found gerontology, study of aging. So I found that USC is number one in the globe, on that major. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there and study. And yeah, that's how I end up over there at USC. It was a great time at LA too. A lot more expensive, but yeah.
I love that, man. What brought you back to China?
So yeah, still after graduated, it was crazy, man. It was like because of the touchdown and everything, and then I start doing social media in China. I don't post a lot on Instagram here, and then but I actually do pretty active in Chinese social media, because I do a lot of Chinese content, and especially I share a lot of like the football knowledge, the football workouts, and everything. Just in China, it's just cool to see, right? Because there's nobody that actually share this type of information and knowledge. So I started doing social media, and then so because of social media, just like you can find me. There's a lot of different opportunity you can find me. So after the first semester in USC, I think I went back to China for summer vacation. And then at that time, there was a reality show came up to me. They were asking me like, "Do you want to do this and that?" I was like, "Yeah, cool, cool stuff." And then the reality show is kind of like, I don't know if you heard of Physical
Yep.
100 from a Korea show. And then that reality show from China is kind of like that, right? It's kind of like that. And then we're teaming up as a group, as a team, and then we're just fighting different obstacles. It was like building a bridge on the sky, and it's like carry a ton of stuff, like from this edge to the other edge, and then you have to break an ice wall that's like a 70 inches thick. It's like it's just some crazy stuff. But yeah, just I got a lot of opportunity, and then to go in there, a lot of sponsors, a lot of ad opportunity, and then you just build it up, right? And then it's like after I graduate. from USC, I start thinking, maybe I need to build a little more of my IP, right? My reputation or my social media before I start getting into uh like the aging stuff, right? So I was just thinking, um maybe it's better for me to be in China, right? And it's just like so many opportunity to waiting for me, and then I just feel like there's a lot of different knowledge or culture stuff I can share with them, right? And then just trying to be that bridge. So yeah, I'm now in China.
That's great, man. And I know we talked about a little bit before the show. One of the really neat things
Hmm.
is I know as both you and I move back near our family. It's been really neat to see,
Yeah.
hang out with our parents a little bit more.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Hang out with our parents and then talking with people that's with your native language. It's like, and I have to say, like, if you have time, I really want you to be in China. It's like, it's it's like, I've been in America for about 12 years already, and then I think I'm pretty adapted to American culture, and then I have seen a lot of different I've been to different states, and then definitely some American Amy, right? But then when I came back to China, I just found out there's so many things that mm, it's not gonna happen in America, right? Just say like, these days, like I think I remember like 2 days ago I was eating out, right? And then I found another table, and then there was nobody there, but there was like two phone left it over there. It's like on the table. And then I was like wondering, like, well, did they somebody lost their phone over there? But they just get up to grab food, and then they just put their phone on the table just like that because nobody gonna steal. And it's like, I'm not saying in America people will steal, but just like I don't feel comfortable leaving my phone
Hmm.
right there, like on the table, right? It's like it's just a sense of like secure, I guess, in China. It's just so much different. And then the delivery stuff is like all those like Uber Eats and everything is so convenient in China. It's like, man, oh man, it's like so crazy. You got to come here to see.
Absolutely, man. On everyone's journey, you make a decision, not knowing the outcome. Can you give me a time? You've made a lot of decisions. Give me a time where you just went for it and how it turned out.
Oh, I mean, I think I I've been doing this every time, right? It's like I just go with it, like, and then it turned out great, right? And it's like ever since my playing football, right? And when I started playing football in high school, I reclassify. Like in China's culture, like your parents want you to come in here and go to a good university, good Ivy school, even better, right? But then it was like I reclassified. It was like I just went with it, right? And then it turned out like at that time it may not be the best result I wanted, but when you look back at it, it was the best decision I made, and it was the best outcome that I have. And then it just kept going. It's like after I came back to China from Jamestown. I took a gap year, and then I found Arizona State, and then I just went for it, right? And then just went for it to come back to China. It was like every decision I just feel like it was a great decision. And then in these days I talk to myself, right? And then I just tell to myself, if I want to make a decision, do not regret it, right? And then I have to really think about it. Do not regret all your choices, because if you regret it, you're not gonna change the decision anyway, right? You did it already. So I might as well just think about, don't regret it, when before you do it. So yeah, when I think back on it, everything is like I just went with it, right? I don't know what outcome it is, right? Like who would have thought a Chinese kid could play football at the Division 1 level, right? Who would have thought a Chinese kid would have a Chinese name on the back? Man, thanks to you in the Hall of Fame. there's just you never know. But I love that. Before we record this, I was like I said to you, right? I really love that you wanted to explore, you really wanted to do the adventure, because you never know, right? don't don't just settle for one thing, don't get into comfortable, right? So I love that. I respect, man, a lot of respect to
You
you.
too, man. You too. It's really cool. And I always tell people we never know the other outcome. We never know what could have happened if you would have not reclassified and gone to just been a regular student. We just really never know the
Yep.
outcome. So I encourage people to embrace that unknown. I mean, it's why the podcast is called Into the
Yes.
Unknown, because I think
Yeah.
it's so important to experience life.
Most definitely. Well, like, this world is like, man, there's so many different scenes you can see. It's like there's rainbow in this world. There's there's polar bear in this world. It's like, if you never, it's like there's so many different things you can explore in this world, and it just feel like uh it's a game. It definitely is a game, and then there's so many different map you have to unlock, and there's different ability you have to unlock too, right? So yeah, it's so fun.
I couldn't agree more. And going off the maps, I always tell people too, you might not unlock the same map as your friend or as your family, and I think it's part of your own
Yep.
adventure to know. And sometimes
Yes.
maybe you're only going to get to tell your friends about Arizona State or your
Yeah.
time in the United States. But I think it's so cool because that brings someone else's map to their story as well. They get to hear about your stories and your experiences.
Yeah, I just hope my story can, motivate somebody maybe, and then tell them that if I can do it, they can do it too, right? A kid that's start playing football at 17 years old, and then still get a little bit of achievement in D1. So I feel like if I can do it, they can do it too.
So Jackson, if people want to learn more about your story, where can they find you online? Where are you located?
On Instagram, maybe I'm gonna start posting more.
I love it, man. Well, as we end, I just want to say thank you again. It's been great to get to talk to you. It's so cool to see your story
Mhm.
continue to unfold.
Yes, sir. And then, of course, I actually wanted to know more about you, if you got time.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. So
Like,
we'll
yeah, actually wanted to know. Like, let me be the host
yeah,
over
let's do it,
here.
man.
Like,
Let's do it.
I'm like, why? What make you wanted to get a job in the Hall of Fame? Like, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
man. So I appreciate that question. It's one of those things where I always joke as a kid, I love to read. I liked reading books. My parents
Uh huh.
were one of those, like, we did summer reading programs at the library, but I was fortunate. They let me pick whatever kind of book I wanted. I mean, it couldn't be like no words or pictures, but I ended up reading a
Yep. Yep.
ton of sports biographies on my favorite players, my
Uh-huh.
favorite athletes, and it really just drew me to learning more about history and just sports history, but then it kind of gravitated towards just history in general. So where I got
Mm,
my undergrad and then my master's, I originally went into education to teach high school social studies, middle school social studies. I ended up pivoting towards going to grad school, actually, pretty much right out of undergrad. And I kept doing things with history. I kept liking sports. And fortunately, the person who ran the Pro Football Hall of Fame, his name is Brent Hensel. He's now with the Green Bay Packers and their Hall of Fame. He attended grad school where I did about 10 years prior. He helped me get my internship at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And that was the first time I realized, like, oh, wow, people get paid to talk about sports history. And I got to do that as an undergrad, or excuse me, in grad school as an intern. Did that, and to be honest, I didn't really think a ton about it after that. I was like, oh, that'd be cool to get back there sometime. Well, a few months
yeah.
later, an opportunity pops up that the College Football Hall of Fame was hiring a historian and curator down in Atlanta. Fortunately, through those
Uh huh.
connections I had made, they reached a lot of people reached out to me. They helped me get my resume in front. It honestly took about 9-10 months for me actually to get hired, and bit
Wow.
like you was
That's a long time.
kind of that, yeah, bit like you was kind of that journey of like, should I give up? I moved a ton at one point. I basically had all the stuff I owned in my car, and I was just going from museum placement to museum placement there for 3 months, 4 months, and just kind of kept it going. But I ended up getting
Mhm.
that opportunity at the College Football Hall of Fame, and it was incredible. I think one of the things, as we talked about, is kind of the adventure. While it was an amazing adventure, after a while, I was like, all right, I'm ready for something new. And I think for me, partially, it was
Mhm.
I could have stayed there until I retired and no one would have questioned it. They
Yep.
would have been like, "Oh, that makes sense." I got to go to national championships. I got to meet athletes. I got to handle jerseys like yourselves, and it was such a cool experience. But it was one of those things that I really enjoyed, but then wanted to find that next path or that next opportunity.
Mm. Yeah. Wow, that's a great story too. It's like it's like like as an athlete or when I think about it, like in China they have football league as well,
Mhm.
right? And then I start thinking like what actually makes difference between NFL and the Chinese football league, right? Definitely are the athlete, right? The athlete are definitely not as good as the NFL player, but then it was the exposure, right? I just feel like with the social media platform, everybody has a chance to actually talk about their story, right? Just like you, like your story was like 9 months. It's like you were, man, it was definitely miserable, right? And then you're talking about like you almost gave up, and it's just like the same story, but I just feel like the story of us can actually motivate a lot of people. And then, man, I just love that you wanted to take the next step, man.
It was.
Man, I love
I
that.
appreciate that, man, and it was one of those, it was terrifying. Don't get me wrong. I kind of had to the museum. I ended up moving back to Wisconsin for. It was a bit of a different experience, and I kind of knew that it was. I'd say more of a lateral, more like a step down, and not even just in the museum, but like financially. But I knew I was building
Yeah,
this business on the side, and I was like, this would allow me to be closer to home, but also allow me to have a little bit more flexibility. And then I know, as we mentioned before we started the recording, last May is when I went all in on it, and it was again a lot of your stories. Just I kept betting on myself. I was like, we're going to see this through, and I think one of the exciting things is when you start making those kind of leaps, at least for me, it started to build that
yeah,
confidence a little. It was like anytime you work out, you start building that muscle. And so that jumping into the
yes,
unknown is less scary.
yes. You got comfortable with the
Hmm.
uncomfortable. I love that.
Absolutely.
Wait, so when your first season, your first episode, were you talking like this, or it's like what were you like?
So it's funny you mentioned that because yes, it was a little bit like this. So that would have been 2023, and the only reason I can say
Okay.
it was a little bit like this was because thankfully, each kind of story experience builds on each other. When I was in the school of
Mm.
education, I learned how to kind of do that public speaking. I tell people
Ah, yep.
anytime if you can talk in front of a group of middle school students, you literally can talk in front of everyone. Like no one is scarier than middle school students. Uh, through the College Football Hall of Fame, I
Yeah.
was fortunate. I got to do Paul Feinbaum show. I got to do ESPN. I got to do a lot of sports interviews and things like that. And of course, each time it
Mm,
just kind of builds that muscle, builds that confidence. And
yes, yes.
now it's been fun with being on the side of interviewing people. Of course, I know a little bit about your story or whoever I'm interviewing, but I love to just see where the interview goes. I love listening to that story and kind of asking those follow up questions. Like in your case, why didn't you give
Yep.
up? It's been really fun to I think learn more about each person's experience.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, I love that as like you can build up the connection, right? And then especially when you mention that like the people that help you getting the internship or like, get you the job into the Hall of Fame. I truly especially in these days like the AI and everything, it's like the robot and everything. I truly actually value or really take that the human to human connection really serious, right? It's like we are humans, right? And then I really love that connection. And then I just grateful to talk to everybody, and then grateful to hear their story. And yeah, and then especially somebody people who helped me before, and then I really grateful, just like you, man. It's like I feel like if you never came up to me, connect with me, and then my jersey would never be in the Hall of Fame, right? And then I just feel like I'm really grateful for that. Thank you.
Well, thank you too, man. It's been great getting to know you, and I consider you a friend now, man. We'll stay in contact. I'm looking forward to it,
Yes,
man.
sir. Man, come to China one day.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. It's already spinning in my brain. I have a few places on my global list to go, and I think I'm adding China.
Oh man. Oh yeah, that would be your next adventure. And then it's like there's a lot of cool museum, a lot of cool history, 5,000 years of history waiting for you to discover.
Hey, man, I love it. I love it, man. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. All right.
That was another fun episode of Into the Unknown. I truly appreciate you taking the time to listen. And if it provides you any value or entertainment, I would love if you shared it with others, liked, subscribed, and really just help the podcast grow. Again, tell a friend, tell a foe, just anyone who might enjoy hearing some stories of people's own journeys and what got them to where they are today. Till next time.